The ocean covers a significant portion of our planet and has a crucial impact on global trade routes. It's safe to say that the country in control of major oceanic passages holds the key to development for half of the world, as these passages serve as vital channels for international commerce. However, with the rapid development of China's foreign trade, it is imperative for China to actively expand and maintain maritime trade channels. In order to ensure its own security, China has begun cooperation with 8 island nations in the South Pacific and simultaneously broke the blockade of 3 island chains built by the United States. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you. In fact, the rise of Western powers is inseparable from the growth of their maritime power. Since the early 20th century, the United States, through a series of wars of conquest, has gradually built up the most powerful maritime power in the world, becoming the most influential presence on the 4 oceans. Unlike the United States, China has long been regarded as a land country operating in sea and inland waters and lacking strong maritime capabilities. However, since the beginning of this century, the power of the Chinese Navy has increased significantly, and it is gradually moving toward becoming a blue water navy. China's naval ships are increasingly appearing in the depths of the Pacific Ocean, rounding the 3 island chains built by the United States. Just in February 2022, the Chinese Navy sent a landing dock and an integrated supply ship to the Tonga Islands in the South Pacific, demonstrating its strong ocean supply capabilities. In December of the same year, a Type 052D destroyer of the Chinese Navy was detected by the French Navy operating in the waters of French Polynesia, which is within the 3rd island chain established by the United States. Therefore, some U.S. military scholars suggest that China is gradually weakening U.S. control over the sea and the 3rd island chain strategy may fail completely. In fact, the island chain strategy is a set of strategies officially proposed by the U.S. after World War II to expand and maintain its influence in the Pacific. It also aims to increase strategic depth and contain the Soviet Union and China. It is understood that the U.S. strategy is divided into 3 island chains. The first island chain starts from the Soya Strait, passes through the Japanese archipelago, extends to the Okinawa Islands, and continues south to the Philippine Islands, the Greater Sunda Islands, and Singapore with Taiwan as the midpoint. The island chain is in close proximity to China's east coast and has many golden waterways such as the Bashi Strait, the Miyako Strait, and the Strait of Malacca. The United States has stationed dozens of military bases in the region and has alliances with countries such as Japan, South Korea, and the Philippines. The second island chain begins with Japan's Izu, Ogasawara, and volcanic islands in the north and extends to the Mariana Islands, Palau Islands, and Papua New Guinea. Compared to the first island chain, the waters in this region extend farther and the forces of the countries along the coast are relatively weak. The U.S. provides air and logistical support to the first island chain, relying on its military base in Guam. However, as we know, everything has 2 sides. The disadvantage of the second island chain is that most areas are small rocky islands, and there are fewer islands capable of providing defensive value. The 3rd island chain is an extremely important strategic concept. It starts from the Aleutian Islands, passes through the Hawaiian Islands, the Samoa Islands, extends to French Polynesia and Micronesia, and finally reaches Australia and New Zealand. In this region, the United States is the dominant great power, while France and Australia also have colonies in this region. The United States has deployed a 3rd fleet with 4 aircraft carrier battle groups and 2 amphibious strike groups in the area, as well as nuclear submarine bases and air forces such as Hawaii, Aleutian Islands, and San Diego. They are the last U.S. strategic foothold in the Pacific. Although the 3 island chains have their own characteristics, the first island chain is by far the most threatening. The United States has stationed about 100,000 troops in the region, equipped with a number of advanced weapons such as the world's leading F-35 Joint Strike Fighter. In addition, the United States works closely with its allies in the region, jointly maintaining the security of these island chains. It can be said that the first island chain poses a serious challenge to China's maritime security and the unity of the motherland. Will China stand still under these circumstances? The 21st century is the era of maritime economy, and maritime trade accounts for 95% of total international trade. The abundance of maritime resources has also become an important strategic space for sustainable development. After 40 years of reform and opening up, China has greatly strengthened its all-round national strength, especially through the rapid development of export-oriented economy. However, China is facing challenges such as overcapacity, excess finance, and excess capital, which requires Chinese companies to vigorously develop international business. Therefore, it is already urgent for China to go overseas. However, the United States is layer by layer blocking China's access to the sea through a chain of islands, which severely restricts the realization of China's maritime exploration strategy. Faced with this serious problem, China must expand the waters of the Western Pacific, which is not an easy task. Therefore, China has decided to make a strategic breakthrough through the South Pacific, starting from the south. To overcome the American blockade of its maritime development strategy, China has adopted one of the many effective means, namely the implementation of the One Belt, One Road strategy. The South Pacific region, which is the terminus of the construction of the southern branch of the Belt and Road, has a very important geographical position. It connects the Pacific and Indian Oceans and is a necessary place for many important waterways. At present, China has established friendship and cooperation relations with 8 island nations, including Fiji, Samoa, Papua New Guinea, Vanuatu, the Federated States of Micronesia, the Cook Islands, and Tonga, as well as Australia and New Zealand. In 2018, China successfully signed cooperation agreements with these island nations to strengthen cooperation in mining, infrastructure construction, tourism, and other areas. In the South Pacific region, many island nations face serious economic challenges due to their limited and scattered territories and relatively small populations due to their remote locations. However, China, by cooperating with these countries, is providing many favorable conditions to address these problems. For example, China provides least developed countries with zero tariff on 97% of tax items, which gives them a huge trade advantage. In addition, China has promised to address the shortage of funds in South Pacific countries through the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank and has pledged to provide comprehensive support according to the needs of island countries. With the development of the Belt and Road Initiative, more and more Chinese enterprises and tourists are flocking to the South Pacific region, which promotes mutual understanding and exchange between Chinese culture and that of South Pacific countries. The understanding and support for China from the people of South Pacific island nations has been a key step in advancing China's maritime strategy. However, in the process of jointly building the Belt and Road with the South Pacific, China also faces challenges and difficulties. It is clear that in the process of cooperation in the South Pacific, China will face many challenges from the United States. In particular, the United States is trying to contain China's growth and has reservations about China's Belt and Road Initiative. In addition, the U.S. and its allies are seeking military and security partnerships with the most influential countries in the region, such as Australia and New Zealand, to weaken China's influence in the South Pacific. However, in the face of so many challenges, China's Belt and Road Initiative still represents a very attractive opportunity for cooperation. The initiative is not only in line with China's own interests, but also closely aligned with the development goals of South Pacific island nations. By deepening cooperation, both sides will build a bright future. What do you think about it? Write your opinion in the comments.